Magandang umaga, Malacañang Press Corps at sa ating mga bisita. Let's now have Presidential Spokesperson Harry Roque.
Good morning, Philippines, and good morning to the ladies and gentlemen of the Malacañang Press Corps. Good news Thursday. The International Business Report of Grant Thornton reported that the Philippines is the second best in business optimism in Southeast Asia with 82%, which is 8 points higher than the first quarter of the year and above the ASEAN average of 64%. The Philippines ranked behind only Indonesia at 98%, but above Malaysia at 52% and Singapore at 32%. Now, for 6 months in a row, the country's manufacturing sector has exhibited a sustained double-digit growth rate with an average of 20.6, according to the National Economic Development Authority. In June 2018, preliminary results of the monthly integrated survey of selected industries released by the Philippine Statistics Office Authority, the Value of Production Index and the Volume of Production Index placed at 18.9% and 18% respectively. Good news, the Department of Transportation announced that Phase 1 of the Mindanao Railway Project, Tagum-Davao-Digos segment, will begin its construction by January 2019. Upon completion in 2021, travel time from Tagum City, Davao del Norte to Digos City, Davao del Sur will be reduced from 3.5 hours to only 1.3 hours. Now, I was able to partially attend the Joint Command Conference the other day, and I have reviewed also the notes, but bulk of what was discussed cannot be discussed in public. No, sufficient to say that per the point of clarification that I had was 25 million medical assistance to be given to the PNP, which was earlier declared by General Albayalde. I will leave that for General Albayalde's confirmation. No? I know that someone asked me about that. No? But in any case, there were a series of reports made in the Joint Command Conference. Secretary Alan made a report on the Philippine position on the West Philippine Sea. The National Security Advisor gave his report on the National Security Assessment. There was also a report from the Department of Finance and the DBM on the future of the financing requirements for the future retirement plan of the PNP and the AFP now that we have doubled their salary. No? Anyway, questions?
MPC question? Natulala ang MPC. MPC muna, questions. Celerina.
Good morning, sir. May we get your reaction regarding the GDP during the second quarter, which is 6%, which is much lower than the last quarter, which is 6.6. And according to Secretary Pernia, we need to grow 7.7% for the rest of the year in order to achieve at least the low end target, which is 7%. Do you think that's possible?
I don't know if it's possible. I'm not an economist. Of course, we're also saddened by the fact that we failed to meet targets. But targets are targets, no? We will do everything to meet them. If we don't, we'll find out why and we'll try to achieve the further targets for the rest of the year.
According to Secretary Pernia, some of the factors were the recent decision of the administration, such as the closure of Boracay and what else? I think he cited other issues. So do you think there's a need to change the policy or of the government?
I don't know what change of policy because Boracay will reopen in October. No? So if Boracay is the issue, it will reopen in October. Needless to say, we think the closure of Boracay was justified. I don't think we should approach Boracay purely from a financial and economic point of view. The President stressed the need to protect the environment and to ensure that the next generations will also enjoy Boracay as we know it, as an island paradise.
Do you know if the President is already aware regarding this performance of the economy?
The truth of the matter is I've not gotten any briefing from the economic managers on the alleged 6% because I haven't seen on this any news on this myself. No, I read the papers, it wasn't there. No, apparently I understand this is a breaking news. No, so I myself have not been briefed by anyone on the 6%.
May follow-up sa GDP? Other issue? Bernadette.
Sir, good morning po. Hindi po ba cause for concern yung slower GDP expansion po at 6%?
Well, number one, sabi ko nga po, breaking news po to, no? Wala po to sa kahit anong report sa mga dyaryo ngayon at wala pa sa aking mga briefing papers. I also want to get confirmation about the 6%, no? Siguro in the next briefing, you can ask me again. But for now, all I know is there's a breaking report on 6%, which I have not had any opportunity to confer with any of the members of the economic cluster of the cabinet, no? I don't think it is alarming because 6% is still high. People, do not forget that we may not have met the target, but 6% is very high. So, putting things in perspective.
Okay.
Sir, yung regarding sa sinabi po ni Secretary Pernia, he attributed the partial slowdown of the GDP to the Boracay closure and the mining crackdown po. So how is the palace taking these statements from the Secretary? And he also noted that these are sound decisions from the President and will be beneficial for the long term po.
As I said, we don't approach policy purely on an economic and financial basis. The President, of course, will exercise the powers of the state, known as police powers, to protect also the environment, and he has given a further priority, higher priority to the protection of the environment, and he makes no apologies for it. If GDP will further fall because of the desire of the President to protect the environment, so be it. We're investing in the future and not just in the present.
Okay, sir. Sir, on inflation naman po, sabi rin po ni Secretary, the high inflation also contributed to the slowdown po. So ano po yung mga kinoconsider na measures po ngayon? May update na po ba, sir?
Well, there's no new updates from our last press briefing. I don't think there will be new updates, no? There was a suggestion on zero tariff. There's discussions. I think Secretary Lopez had a declaration that there may be lower tariffs, but no decisions have been reached as of yet.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, MPC, welcome lang natin yung friends ni Secretary Roque, Ms. Lina Sarmiento, Glenda Ditong, and Beverly Castillo. Welcome po sa briefing ng MPC. Question, Joseph Morong.
Sir, with regard to federalism, I'm sure you're prepared for it. The economic managers don't like it for now, no? Especially because it doesn't answer questions like how are we going to pay our debt, stuff like that, sir. Kasi Secretary Dominguez said parang hindi maliwanag sa draft.
Well, that's why we need to disseminate even amongst members of the cabinet, apparently, no? But no, the reality of it is that the consultative committee's work output will have to be, or was submitted already to Congress. It is now the task of Congress to study the proposal, and I'm sure the issues raised by the members of the cabinet will be looked into by Congress and also by the people, no? Ultimately, no? So for now, we respect the views of these cabinet members, but I would like to see if, number one, we can in fact authenticate that this will be the results as proposed by the consultative commission, and number two, I'd like to see if there are alternatives, no? Because federalism remains a priority of the president, and we need to address, obviously, even the financial aspects of the constitutional change towards federalism.
How does the palace answer that question? How are you going to pay the debt under that federalism setup because of the 50-50 share between the regional governments and the states and the national? So medyo magkakaproblema yata, sir, in terms of revenue.
Well, I know there's an honest difference of opinions even amongst cabinet members here. My point of view is there doesn't have to be a deficit because there shouldn't be additional budget required for federalism. It's a matter of working within a given budget and transferring funds from one pocket to another. No, we're talking about devolving services to regional governments, and we're talking about, yes, creating new bureaucracies under the regional governments, but we're also talking about reducing the current national bureaucracy. So my view is it does not have to result in a bloated budget, which may result in a bigger deficit, which will result in higher interest rates if we make sure that the transition will not result in additional expenses. No? So we have to be very careful in drafting the new constitution to ensure that the national government, in fact, will, number one, be reduced in scope because we will be creating another line of bureaucracy, which is the regional governments.
You mentioned reduced bureaucracy. We will have many more senators, just as an example, under the federal system.
Yes. Yes,
And
it
that's
doesn't matter
reducing it?
because what I'm saying is the national government will have to be reduced substantially. So there will have to be reallocation of funds which used to be spent for the national government. By and large, really, the Senate does not eat up a large portion of the budget. No, the large portion is still in the national government under a unicameral system. But as I said, this is something to ponder upon. This is something that will be discussed in the cabinet, and this is something that will have to be addressed by policymakers and the people in general.
Okay.
Okay, just one last point, sir. Paano yan, sir, na, okay, the president is pushing federalism, but you have maybe objections, no, for lack of a better term, from his own economic team. Now, this might not be the right formula for us for the meantime.
Well, let's just say that Secretary Dominguez, as you know, was one of his closest supporters during the campaign. He knows that the president ran on a platform, among others, based on charter change towards federalism. He supports federalism. Let's fine-tune the means and ways of moving from a unicameral to a federal form of government.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, follow up sa federalism, Raymond Tinasa, then Celerina.
So just a quick follow-up. But if I were an ordinary citizen, shouldn't I believe the considered to be intellectuals and thinking cabinet secretaries, the economic managers of the president?
Well, I don't think any of the declarations made by the economic managers are conclusive. In fact, he was very particular when he said that I think there will be problems as currently drafted. No? So he did not say that the shift to federalism per se will will result in the problems that he foresees. So let's see if there are solutions so that we can make the change to federal form of government without having to experience the downside of the change of government as envisioned by the economic managers.
So, but as we speak, generally they are, especially Secretary Dominguez is against for now for the shift to federalism. But
No, he wants to find answers to unanswered questions. That's what I believe he said. No, he asked questions about who's going to fund national defense and all that. No, well, right now I could easily answer there's 50% of the budget for that purpose. No, as envisioned by the consultative committee. No, really the line agencies will remain, but they will be policy making, and the project implementation will be given to the regional governments. So in my mind, it's doable.
so shouldn't you among yourselves enlighten each other, especially economic managers? Kasi parang nagkakalat kasi doon sa, like sa Senate hearing. So parang it leaves an impression, even to the general public, na you among yourselves are not 100% agreeing or supportive of the federalism.
I think there's 100% agreement that we are pushing for federalism.
Thank
The
you, sir.
exact mechanics of how to do it, well, no one can claim a monopoly. Okay?
Thank you,
Thanks, sir.
Raymond. Celerina, microphone, please.
Sir, you have mentioned that the palace wants to see this alternative proposal from the cabinet, from the economic managers, considering that there were already three economic managers who expressed apprehension over this issue. So will you task this economic team to come up with any proposal on how to go about their concerns?
Well, actually, the president will have to task them because the president, as the principal of all the alter egos of the president, has said that he is pushing for federalism. So it is incumbent upon the alter egos to find ways and means now to make that happen. What they were objecting to is because they have unanswered questions on the existing proposals made by the consultative committee. No? So let's find answers. But if there will be no answers, it's incumbent upon all alter egos of the president to make what the president wants to happen reality.
During the previous cabinet meetings, hindi ba siya na-discuss or na-bring up yung concern?
Hindi po. There was no discussion on charter change and the financing of charter change.
Okay, other issue, Henry. Uri, to be followed by Tina.
Secretary, from 5.2%, 5.7 na ngayon ang inflation rate. Tumaas ang presyo ng karne, gulay, asukal at iba pang pangunahing bilihin. Ano ang paliwanag, pinakahuling paliwanag dito ng palasyo at ano po ang gagawin ninyo para matulungang makaagapay yung mga ordinaryong mamamayan?
Ganun pa rin po yan. Kung titignan nyo po yung datos ngayon na linabas sa 5.7, ang pinakamataas pong mga tumaas na presyo, alcohol, tobacco, no? So, kung titignan nyo po yun, napakalaki ng tilas nila. Bakit tumaas ang tobacco? Kasi nga po, nagbabayad na ng tamang buwis ngayon. Yung dati hindi nagbabayad ng buwis, no? Yung Mighty, no? Yung mga alcohol naman at ibang mga sin products, kasi mabuti naman po tumaas yan ng ang kalusugan ng taong bayan ay mapangalagaan. Ang problema po talaga yung pagtaas ng presyo ng pagkain at yung mga pang-araw-araw na pangangailangan at yan naman po hinahanapan ng solusyon. Sa tingin ko po, sa sinabi ni Secretary Lopez, magkakaroon po ng pagbaba ng taripa pero nagsalita na rin po si Secretary Piñol, hindi po pwede zero. Kasi, nako, out and out war daw yan with our agricultural producers kung tatanggalin naman ang taripa. So, hahanap tayo ng balanse para po magamit din natin yung taripa at yung importations para instrumento, para mapapaba. Pero kailangan pangalagaan din yung interes ng ating mga lokal na mga magsasaka at mga agricultural producers.
Wala bang gagawin ng palasyo para sa dagdag na sahod ng ng mamamayan?
Well, nagawa na po ng palasyo yan kasi yung mga wage boards po nag-order na ng increase sa mga regional wage boards. Halos marami na po, but I will find out next time kung ilan na talaga sa mga regional wage boards na nag-order ng increase. Pero ang alam ko po, marami na pong nagkaroon ng order of increase.
Alright, thanks.
Okay, follow up, Ace Romero.
Secretary, Albay Representative Joey Salceda said President Duterte is expected to issue an EO reducing to zero the tariffs on imported fish, corn, vegetables, and feed wheat to curb inflation. Can you verify? Can you confirm this?
Ang masasabi ko lang po yung sinabi ni Secretary Piñol na zero tariff will mean war with domestic agricultural producers. So, kailangan po hanapan natin ng balanse yan. So, tingin ko yung balanse, doon naman sa sinabi ni Secretary Lopez. Babaan ang tarifa, pero hindi po pwedeng alisin ang tarifa.
So this EO is not forthcoming?
Hindi ko po alam kung saan nanggaling yung impormasyon ni Congressman Salceda, no? Pero ang pagkakaalam ko po ngayon, may diskusyon, no? At may mga pagkakaiba ng opinion. Secretary Piñol says it's going to be war with domestic agricultural producers. At wala pong nag-advocate sa cabinet ng zero right now. I verified from the economic team. They listened to the suggestion of former President GMA and Speaker GMA, but no one actually agreed that it should be done. So there's a possibility of reducing tariffs, but no one in the cabinet has told me that they will actually endorse zero tariff. Lilinawin ko lang po.
So very dim yung chances ng zero tariff EO?
Ang alam ko po ngayon, walang nagsasabi na magkakaroon ng zero tariff. Posible po ang pagbaba ng tarifa.
Thank you, Secretary.
Okay, last question na tayo kay Sec. I'm sorry. Tina Mendez to be followed by Pia.
Good afternoon, sir. You mentioned earlier si Secretary Cayetano talked about something about WPS during the meeting. So can you provide any details or regarding if the proposed joint development sa WPS was discussed and what was the President's marching orders about
The
it?
President has repeatedly said that he is open to joint exploration. Number one, because the Supreme Court says it is constitutional in Labugal. And number two, because it is pursuant to the national interest. But he will not give up even an inch of Philippine territory. So yun po yung posisyon. So nagkaroon lang naman ng restatement of policy. Hindi naman po talaga bagong policy. In-explain lang sa ating men in uniform ni Secretary Cayetano kung ano yung current policy.
And what was the response of the military?
Lahat naman po supportive. Basta malinaw po na wala tayong pinamimigay na teritoryo. We are working with the realities of modern day life. We are working with the realities of geopolitics, but we're promoting the national interest first and foremost.
Sir, also on China, na-discuss ba yung impending official visit ni President Xi this year?
Hindi po na-discuss doon, but there is an impending official visit after APEC in Timor-Leste.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Pia?
Wait, hindi. I stand corrected. Hindi ata Timor-Leste. It is in Papua New Guinea. I stand corrected. I'm sorry. After APEC in November.
May follow-up ka muna, Celerina?
So regarding that joint exploration, so during the meeting, meron bang decision na to lift the moratorium and will the exploration push through na?
Wala pong decision to lift the moratorium because he merely briefed them. But of course, part of the report was we are moving towards a bilateral agreement that would enable the joint exploration to happen.
So how soon could that agreement be forged? Meron bang timeline?
No time frame po. But of course, because of the impending visit of President Xi, I would say that it is anytime between now and the visit of President Xi, but it was not expressly stated as such.
Okay, last two. Sige.
Sir, yung sa visit lang po ni President Xi, bakit po tayo magkakaroon ng ganon and what does this mean for the relationship?
Matagal na po yan na-anunsyo rin natin Pinagka-agrihan yan doon sa huling bisita ni Presidente sa China, no? At matagal na talagang pinaplano kasi hindi pa nakakarating si President Xi as President. Although parang nakarating na siya dito, he was mentioning nakarating na siya once in connection with ASEAN ata or APEC, no? But not na on a one-on-one visit, no? So he was looking forward to visiting the Philippines. And I remember in China, the President even invited him not just to come to the Philippines, but to come to his house and have dinner in his house in Davao.
Okay, Pia Gutierrez?
Sir, we have gotten confirmations that President Duterte will be holding a meeting later this afternoon between the leaders of both factions of PDP Laban. What does the President hope to get from the meeting?
Well, of course, he wants to unify the party, and he will clarify that he remains chairman of the party, and he will be there. He will be in the PDP meeting this
Sir,
afternoon.
this will be the first time that he gets to speak with both leaders of the faction, tama, sir?
Well, I do not know if there are factions really, no, but he will speak to the entire PDP Laban political party.
Okay.
Because I do not know if in his mind there are factions, no. He will speak with PDP Laban.
Okay.
Also, sir, on the Nine Landing project, in a statement...
The what? The
Nine Landing project. So,
Nine Landing project.
Nayon Landing.
Nayon Filipino,
Opo.
I see.
So, Landing International is insisting, sir, that it's still a valid leaseholder despite the sacking of the officials of Nayon Filipino. So, will there be legal moves by the government to nullify the contract, especially with the reiteration of President Duterte yesterday that he doesn't want new casinos operating?
I think I issued a statement on this because the company said that it does not affect its contract. So my clarification is the President has expressly ordered the review of the contract because in his own appreciation of the terms and conditions of the contract, he characterized the contract as, quote, flawed, unquote. So when the President says it is flawed, then obviously the order to review is towards possibly putting an end to the contract. No? But he has tasked DOJ Secretary to do this.
Thank
Okay.
you, sir.
Ina Andalong?
Hi, sir. Sir, just a quick follow-up dun sa PDP Laban meeting. Actually, Secretary Bongo said that he advised the President to speak to the two factions. As far as the President is concerned, sino ba talaga ang reigning faction? Because as we know,
Well,
one
alam nyo,
faction elected their own set of
I
officers.
think I have raised my apprehension here. They have their own spokesperson kasi. So I would defer to the official spokesperson of PDP Laban. I will go with the President, and but as far as what will actually happen, I feel that I'm not in a position to speak because PDP Laban matters are, strictly speaking, no, outside the affairs of Malacañang, no, and the functions of the President. And they have their own spokesperson. That's my concern.
Who does the President consider, sir, as his fellow officers in PDP Laban? From which factions?
As
Kasi may
far
isa-
as the President is concerned, he is chair of PDP Laban, and there is only one PDP Laban.
Okay, Joy, last three. Joyce, Raymond, then Tina.
Sir, status lang ni Secretary Liza Masa, ano ng balak na Malacañang?
Same. No movement.
Kahit po may pending warrant of arrest against her, walang balak si Pangulo na palitan siya in the moment.
Well, ang tanong po status, ganun pa rin po ang status.
Okay,
At wala
thank you.
naman po ako naririnig na balak, no? So, she remains in office.
Pumapasok pa rin po ba siya
Hindi ko po
reporting
alam.
in office?
Hindi ko po alam.
Thank you, Joyce. Raymond.
So hindi naman sa self-serving. Pero Senator Soto is pushing for the 14th month pay ng mga private employees. Will you rally behind this bill considering na at the midst of the rising prices of basic commodities?
You know, unfortunately, I can only speak on behalf of the President, and the President has not given me any indication on his position on the matter. I'm sure he will consult again his economic team, and we will communicate with you the position of the President on the proposed 14 months.
It's a private sector naman, sir. So would you be happy if the private employees are happiest?
I will verify with the President.
Thank you.
Last question, Tina Mendez.
Sir, may 3 questions pa tanong dito eh. Anyway, first, sir, from Jojo Reyes of Malaya. Sir, the Sandigan Bayan ordered an issuance of writ of execution on the government shares ng UCPB, which is worth 83 billion based on 2015 PCGG estimate. Anong position ng government?
Well, there's a writ of execution. It has to be enforced. So no position is required. The President is for the rule of law. If there's a writ of execution, then enforce it.
Tapos, we see here General Lina Sarmenta of the Human Rights Board. Have you met with her and discussed issues concerning the claims of the unclaimed?
Yes, we are
Thanks.
discussing certain matters concerning payments or payments which needs to be attended to by the executive either because the claimants have died or the checks will become stale and there will be no one authorized to reissue the checks because the last day for the validity of the checks, I believe, will be tomorrow. So that concern will be addressed today. It will be made known to the to Executive Secretary Medialdea. No?
So are you recommending the issuance of an executive order or extension of the
Yes,
life of the board?
in my capacity as presidential advisor, of course, I will endorse whatever it is that General Lina Sarmiento and the board would want Malacañang to do.
Sir,
Yes.
from Pia Ranyada of Rappler, may we have Malacañang's reaction on the appointment of Michelle Bachelet as the United Nations Human Rights Chief?
Yeah, I saw that statement of Pia. I move around in this circle, but unfortunately I don't know her. But nonetheless, she was elected, so we congratulate her.
So, as a follow-up, how do you think this appointment affects the dynamics between the UN and the Philippines?
Well, I would say that the entire community of states perhaps elected her for a reason, noting that no less than the United States has opted to withdraw from the UN Human Rights Council. No? So I think the election of this new High Commissioner for Human Rights must be a result of compromise, and we're optimistic that we will have better relations with the new High Commissioner for Human Rights.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Tina. Presidential spokesperson.
Okay, thank you very much, and see you on Monday.
Sir, we have Miss...
Ay, wait! Sorry. Hindi pa pala tayo tapos, mga kaibigan. Pero nandito po tayo para naman sa sining. Itaguyod ang sining. We have Film Development Council of the Philippines Chairperson Liza Diño. Chair Diño will share with us the festive event organized by the FDCP in line with the Buwan ng Wika. The Pista ng Pelikulang Pilipino 2018 will feature a week-long screening of all Filipino films in theaters nationwide. It is now on its 2nd year. Ladies and gentlemen of the Malacañang Press Corps, let us all give a warm welcome to Chair Liza Diño.
Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Ay, magandang tanghali sa inyong lahat. It's good to be part of this Good News Thursday dahil good news po ang ibibigay namin sa inyo ngayong buwan ng wika. So, maligayang buwan ng wika po. isang malaking karangalan para sa Film Development Council of the Philippines ang mapaunlakan at maimbita ng Office of the Presidential Spokesperson sa pamumuno ni Secretary Harry Roque. At maging sa inyo pong Malacañang Press Corps para suportahan po kami na imbitahin at hikayatin ng ating mga manonood na tangkilikin at panoorin ang mga pelikulang tampok sa Pista ng Pelikulang Pilipino 2018 na nasa ikalawang taon na po. Ito po ay organized by Film Development Council of the Philippines. And just to let you know what Film Development Council of the Philippines is about, Film Development Council of the Philippines is the national film agency under the Office of the President, which is tasked to create film policies and programs to ensure the economic, cultural, and educational development of the Philippine film industry. It aims to encourage the production of quality films and to conduct film-related events that enhances the skills of the Filipino talents. The agency also leads the film industry's participation in domestic and foreign film markets and local and international film festivals, and is tasked to preserve and protect films as part of the country's national cultural heritage. And as the chairperson and CEO of this agency, my task is to ensure that programs are implemented in support of these trusts. And it includes film development support. Kasama po dyan ay ang pakikipag-usap sa ibang bansa, understanding the best practices that is being done in other countries and bringing it here in the Philippines, trainings and workshop for our filmmakers and aspiring filmmakers of the film industry. Film production support. Ito po ay paghahanap po ng opportunity para matulungan natin ang ating mga filmmakers in terms of giving grants and investing on their projects so that we can improve the quality and the production value of their films. It also, nasa amin din po ang film distribution and exhibition support, which gives the opportunity for our filmmakers and our producers to find platforms para po maipalabas ang kanilang mga pelikula. Alam naman po natin ngayon dito sa Pilipinas, malaki po ang patronage sa ating mga Hollywood films versus our local films. We are at 67 and 23%. Yes, and mababa po ito. Kailangan po natin gumawa ng mga programa para po, lalo pa nating hikayatin ng ating mga local audience na suportahan ang pelikulang Pilipino. We are also tasked to coordinate with international partners through international collaborations, diplomatic relations, para po gamitin ang pelikula bilang paraan para maintindihan po natin ang pagkakaiba ng iba't ibang bansa. We also have the Philippine Film Archive, kung saan po natin tinatago ang ating at pinapreserve ang ating cultural heritage, ang ating cinematic heritage. And next year, actually, we're actually celebrating it now. We are celebrating our 100 years of Philippine cinema, and we are working towards a presidential declaration for the declaration of the 100 years of Philippine cinema on September 12, 2019 to September 12, 2020. At masaya po kami sa suporta ng Office of the President para po kilalanin at ipagdiwang ang very momentous occasion na po ito. Alam naman po natin kung paano po naging bahagi po ang pelikula sa parte ng buhay nating lahat. So at this point, I would like to share what PPP is. It is one of our biggest events happening this month. Last year po namin ni-launch ang program na ito at nagkaroon din po ako ng pagkakataon last year na ipahatid po ito sa inyo. It is an industry event, a one-week exclusive screening of Filipino films in all regular theaters nationwide, which allows for the platform to be enjoyed by 8 quality genre films curated by the agency, 6 special feature films, and 8 Cine Kabataan entries, short films that are done by the youth in the eyes of the youth. PPP represents a platform for Filipino producers to showcase their content, as well as an opportunity for the Filipino audience to appreciate films of our own that represent Philippine cinema today. Our Philippine cinema is diverse. It's not one note. But unfortunately, ngayon po sa ating mga commercial cinemas, kulang po tayo sa diversity. And I hope platforms like this will open up opportunities for our Filipino audience to realize that there are a lot of Filipino stories to be shared and for them to enjoy. It was a historic moment for us when we launched PPP last year with 12 films, and we were amazed by the incredible support that the Filipino audience gifted our genre films that are not only quality, but also caters to the diverse preferences for content. This year, we continue this platform again with the support of theaters nationwide. Isang malaking pagkakataon po ito at napakalaking karangalan po para po magsama-sama ang lahat ng stakeholders sa buong bansa. From the government agencies involved to the private stakeholders, our distributors, our producers, our filmmakers, and especially our audience. Kaya sana po ay tulungan niyo po kami na makipista para po sa ating PPP August 15 to 21. We are very proud that PPP adds to the thriving local film industry that we have now, and it is with great honor that I invite everyone to support us once again from August 15 to 21, where we have 8 full feature films, 6 special feature films, and 8 Cinekabataan short films in selected theaters for the whole week run. And at this point, I'd like to present to you, tunghayan po natin ang mga tampok na pelikula para sa Pista ng Pelikulang Pilipino Year 2.
siya mahal.
Hindi pa tayo nag-uusap pa.
Sumbong ka na sa yaya mo. Kuya!
Sorry, kasi ba to?
Hindi po.
Ayaw mo ba akong makita? Diretso langit ka. Ayaw mo no? Hindi ko alam.
Silang ng prinsesa.
Wow, optimistic.
You have to let me go.
Why? Oh my God! Buti pa ang constellations. My connection.
Hello?
Uy!
Paano gusto nila tayong takutin?
Alam mo, kung ako sa inyo, pag-isipan nyo kung saan kayo magninenok ng 180K. Kaya kayo lahat sa wedding. Oo, kaya benta kayong kidney.
Ate Vicky! Hello, ate!
Last year, magkasama tayo ng Valentine's. Ngayon, pag day after na lang ako.
Ano ito? Pinasok natin na! Ano to? Ano to?
Sasabit tayo, nakikita mo ba yan?
For our 8 main titles, we have Ang Babaeng Allergic sa Wi-Fi, directed by June Lana, starring Sue Ramirez and Jameson Blake. We have Bakwit Boys, directed by Jason Pollack Samana, with actors Devon Seron, Vance Lerena, and Nico Natividad. Madilim ang Gabi, directed by Adolf P. Alex, starring Gina Alahar, Philip Salvador, and Felix Rocco. Pinay Beauty, directed by Jay Abello, starring Chai Fonasher, Edgar Allan Guzman, and Maxine Medina. Signal Rock, directed by Chito S. Ronyo, starring Christian Bables, Elora Españo, and Jo Marie Angeles. The Day After Valentine's, directed by Jason Pollack Samana, starring Bella Padilla and J.C. Santos. Only Life, directed by Miko Livelo, starring Vong Navarro, Winwin Marquez, and Joey Marquez. We Will Not Die Tonight, directed by Richard Somes, starring Erich Gonzalez, Alex Medina, and Paulo Paraiso. At ang ating mga 6 special feature films ay ang Balangiga, Howling Wilderness, directed by Kevin De La Cruz. Gusto Kita with All My Hypothalamus, directed by Dwayne Baltazar. High Tide, directed by Tara Ellenberger. Kiko Boxingero, directed by Top Nazareno. Paki, directed by Giancarlo Abrahan. And Tupog Imatoy, directed by Arnel Barbarona. Isa po itong regional film from the South. We have been mounting several events to drum up support for our PPP films, and we are inviting everyone to the following. Salamat po for this opportunity. August 11 po ay magkakaroon po tayo ng Pista at the Park Grand Fans Day at All-Star Parade at the Quezon Memorial Circle from 10 a.m. onwards. This is a one-day fiesta type event for free and open to the public, featuring the Maginhawa Food District restaurants in cooperation with the Quezon Film Development Commission. All-day games with prizes, may palo sebo po dyan at kung ano-ano pa. Mamimigay po tayo ng PPP Industry Pass at sa tanghali po, sa hapon po ay magkakaroon po tayo ng All-Star Parade kung saan magkakaroon po ng floats ang ating mga iba't ibang artista para po pasiyahin ang ating mga fans. The parade starts at 2 p.m. at the MTRCB grounds, going to the circle with floats for each film boarded by PPP celebrities and artists. Because importante po sa FDCP na ipakita na ito po ay isang industry event at kailangan po nating maintindihan ng iba't ibang industriya ng iba't ibang bansa. Magkakaroon po tayo ng Film Industry Conference happening on August 17 to 18 at the Novotel Araneta Center. This is a 2-day event that aims to bring together the movers and shakers of the film industry, both local and international, to celebrate and explore the current trends and insights on filmmaking. On its second year, FIC brings focus to the Asian film industry and the opportunities, platforms, and cooperation that Filipino producers and filmmakers can explore. We will be bringing in Asian mentors, speakers, and panelists to talk about film financing, film distribution, marketing, and how we can actually distribute films in other territories. This event is a local industry practice and will not be possible without the support of all our stakeholders at lahat po ng sumusuporta. Kaya gusto ko pong magpasalamat sa kanilang lahat. We start with the Office of the Presidential Spokesperson. Maraming salamat po. The Office of the President. National Cinema Association of the Philippines, pumayag po sila na ang buong sinihan sa buong Pilipinas, solong-solo po ng mga Pilipino, walang foreign films po sa linggong ito. We are supported also by our partners. UNICEF, Globe Play It Right, Solar, ECTV, Outpost, Nestle, Camellia, ThinkBit, Sequoia Hotel, and our media partners. Of course, nandito po kayong lahat. Maraming salamat po sa inyo. Of course, our agency partners, PIA, MTRCB, Metro Manila Development Authority, MMDA, DILG, National Commission for Culture and the Arts, DOTR, Office of the Vice Mayor of Quezon City Film Development Commission, and National Youth Commission. Maraming salamat po for this opportunity at magsama-sama po tayong makipista August 15 to 21 sa lahat po ng sinihan sa buong bansa.
Okay, maraming salamat. FDCP Chair Liza Diño, may question ba, MPC? Raymond, you have question? Oh.
Hi, ma'am. So was there any development so far compared to last year? Were all the cinemas nationwide agreed to show all the movies? Or the first time na all cinemas nationwide agreed for this project?
lahat po tayo, I believe na lahat po ng stakeholders ngayon in the industry are working together on how we can encourage more of our local audience to patronize our own local films. Right now po, because of the very lopsided ratio of panonood po ng pagpapalabas po ng Hollywood films versus local films, kailangan po natin ng mga ganitong platforms para po talagang ma-engage pa natin ang ating local audience. So, nakikiisa po sila sa amin at pumayag po silang lahat na mapalabas, i-allocate po ang isang buong linggo for Filipino films.
Last year, ganun din, ma'am?
Last year, ganun din
Ganun
po.
din. So same.
Yes.
Okay. Akala ko Metro Manila lang last year.
Same po.
Maraming
Thank you.
salamat, Raymond Tinasa ng Bombo Radio. Maraming salamat, Ms.
Maraming
Diño.
salamat po.
Presidential Spokesperson, Harry Roque. Maraming salamat at maraming salamat sa ating mga guests at sa MPC. Back to our main studio sa Radyo Pilipinas and People's Television Network.